Number 4.
I'm up with the Kings, number 4, and I get the number 3 guy on my board. I'd be doing backflips here if I were the Kings, and I'm going to take Jaden Ivey from Purdue. And this is a best available type of pick. I really wouldn't think too much beyond that or worry about fit if I'm the Kings. The Kings picks have been weird. I don't want to say they don't make sense, but just more like off the board with Davion Mitchell last year when they had De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton. I think they used like some math equation to draft Nick Stauskas 8th overall in 2014. They haven't made the playoffs since 2006. The name should be Jaden Ivey. He's the top player left I have on my board at 4, 3 on my personal board. Call it a hedge potentially, but we could look back, and this is the guy that I circle in this class in 3 years and say, we blew it. He should have been number 1 unequivocally. How do we all miss? 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists this season at Purdue. The NBA is about change of pace and hitting the turbo, and that's who he is. He calls it the Baja Burst when he hits the Jets. The passing and the reads, I'd say especially in transition, are night and day from where they were a year ago. I want him to improve in the mid-range. That's like the big gap offensively. Be a little bit more decisive, those pick and roll stuff, and hit a mid-range jumper. Don't do this weird kind of push up. Make it a floater, make it a dunk. Use your left hand on the left side of the basket. If this is the pick, there's some interesting combos with a downhill De'Aaron Fox and a cleared outside for dribble handoffs with Sabonis. Like Houston, the defense would scare me a little bit with De'Aaron Fox and Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey has the tools, but hasn't necessarily shown the commitment to consistently do it on that end. I had him as a guy in the 20s a year ago. He made some fixes to the broken aspects of his game. I expect him to do the same at the next level. I would be elated with the Kings taking him 4th overall.
So I agree with you. I'd take him and just not really think twice.
Yeah.
I would try and move up if I was the Kings, to be honest. Like, I'd try and do what I can to get that number 2 overall pick. I think it'd be hard with Sam Presti, but I also have the only thing that really worries me about Jaden Ivey is like his total complete and utter lack of mid-range game.
Yeah.
He just does not have it. And I am so confused as to why that is. Like, I think it could be a touch thing, but he has touch from 3 off the catch. It's not like a great pull-up player right now, but when you can pressure the basket like he can, I think you just kind of roll with it. Okay, let's go to number 5. We are up with the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to go. I'm going Ben Mathurin at number 5.
Whoa. Okay. The draft has turned. All right.
And I just think he has more upside than Keegan Murray. That's the reason. Like, I think he's a little bit safer than Jeremy Sochan and a little bit safer than Dyson Daniels. And I think that he has real substantial upside that is getting underrated. How much younger do you think Dyson Daniels is than Ben Mathurin?
Well, Ben Mathurin turned what? 20? I think he turned 20, 2 years, I'd say.
Ben Mathurin is like, if I remember correctly, I think it's like 7 months older.
Oh, really? I thought he just turn 20 versus 19. Yeah, I was thinking 20 versus 19.
But this is the thing. I think that we treat Ben Mathurin as if he is this older, productive college player, much in the same way that we treat Keegan Murray.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that. Like, he is a teenager that made the All-American team this year. And he is an incredibly valuable player because of his ability to shoot. I think he has some second side creation upside. Like, I don't buy him breaking down a defense in isolation, but I think if you get the defense twisting and turning, he's going to be able to attack closeouts, jump stop, get to his floater, jump stop, make kick out passes, because he got a lot better at that throughout the season. Defensively, he has all of the tools that he needs to be an effective player to stay on the court. Needs to give a bit more second and third effort, really.
Sure.
But maybe that improves. Like, he locks in when he needs to, I think. Like, he was pretty good in the NCAA tournament defensively, and he has all of the aggressiveness and energy that you're looking for from a guy like this. I'm going Ben Mathurin, number 5 overall.
I see it. I get it. And there's more shooting. I mean, we talk about Detroit, how they need that so badly, and coming off pick and rolls, and that'll actually space the floor. And there's a lot of ways that they can slice it too. And it's a tough pick to nail down because we don't really know what their offseason looks like yet either. We're kind of doing this also blindly. Is Jeremy Grant back in play? Is DeAndre Ayton really play as a free agent? I think Benedict Mathurin or Keegan Murray or Shoedon Sharpe are like the true swings that work. You went a little bit more ambitious than I would, but I get it.
Okay. Number 6, you are up.
So I'm happy at number 6. I get the number 5 guy on my board, and I'm going to take Keegan Murray. I love Keegan Murray. I do. I've not
You do.
hidden that at all. I know it seems safe, but safe doesn't mean he's not going to be a contributing player. This is some bland like ice cream flavor that you're picking off the shelf. Like this is a guy that has a lot to his game with scoring and finishing, playing in transition, putting up 24 points per game. We mentioned with Chet Holmgren, he's played all the roles. He said at the NBA Combine, he's a 21-year-old in an 18-year-old's body, which I loved. And bravo to whoever the pre-draft interview training team that got him to use that line, or it's just him, even more bravo to him.
It's a good one.
It's a great one because he's a late bloomer. He wasn't a star in high school. He really wasn't a star at Iowa the first year that he was there, and a real true household name in college basketball till this season. People rave about his work ethic, his character, one of my favorites. And there's a front court spot available next to Miles Turner. And you have Brogdon, Duarte, TJ Warren in free agency. Continue to build around Tyrese Halliburton, add to your core. He's a day one starter. There's going to be an adjustment curve. The age tells us it likely won't be as steep if they take a bigger swing on the younger player.
Yeah. No, I like this a lot. I think that he makes a lot of sense for the Pistons. I like him as a fit next to Miles Turner, particularly. Rebounds the ball, pushes out on the break. Miles is really effective as a trailer, as a three-point shooter, particularly in those settings. I think that you can kind of invert them a little bit on offense where you have Miles spacing out to the three-point line, and then you try and get Keegan in the post on some mismatches. If you like run maybe a 1-4 ball screen with Tyrese Halliburton and Keegan Murray, and they switch it because you want to switch Tyrese Halliburton. You get a guard on Keegan. Keegan was actually statistically the most effective post player in all of college basketball this season, according to Synergy. He's really good at taking advantage of those mismatch opportunities. I like it. Yeah, man.
Great. All right. So far, so good. This is a fantasy draft that's going well for me. So you're back on the clock here with what? 6th overall pick?
Yeah, I'm up with number 7.
7. The Blazers.
This is a pick that I would probably look to trade, but we're not doing that in this thing. I'm not saying that I would trade it for anything in particular. Like I would not trade this pick for Jeremy Grant, but I might try and move down. I might try and pick up some assets and then move something. I'm going to take Jeremy Sochan here.
Ooh, lordy. Okay.
I think a big part of this is I just buy the fit a lot. And I buy the talent with Jeremy Sochan a lot. Now I have Jeremy Sochan at 6 on my board. And I think that's probably on the higher end. The reason is what has Portland needed? Like they've needed guys who are genuinely switchable defenders. Jeremy Sochan has guarded 1s in the NCAA tournament. He's guarded 5s. He did it in the same game for Baylor against North Carolina. He was guarding Armando Bacot.
Our producers are punching the wall right now as UNC alums. They're like, come on, man. We know. I'm sorry. We survived.
I know, right? They survived. That's all that matters. They got to the NCAA title game. I think he's so switchable. He was comfortable guarding Caleb Love and RJ Davis out there. He was comfortable guarding perimeter players all season. Offense, it's going to be a project. And frankly, like, I don't know if a Damian Lillard led Portland Trailblazers team is going to want that project, to be honest. Like, I just don't know what their direction is. Like, are they trying to contend now? Are they trying to rebuild on the fly by bringing back Josh Hart, bringing back Yusuf Nurkic, putting someone like Jeremy Sochan in the middle of those guys and then letting them rock? I worry a little bit about the Anthony Simons and Damian Lillard backcourt. I think that Jeremy Sochan's switchability would really, and his defensive instinct would really help cover for that a little bit, assuming they bring back Anthony Simons. I am a big fan. Yeah, I really just love Jeremy Sochan quite a bit. And I know that the shot is going to take time. I know the offensive side is going to take time. We'll just have to see how it goes.
And they do have that spot there at the 4 where he can slide in. And if they keep the pieces as they are and they don't make any other moves, he's okay. I mean, he played at Baylor where guys were getting up shots, right? Like he'll be okay with Dame Lillard and Anthony Simons taking 22 shots each a game because he'll still make his impact felt as a slasher, as a cutter, as a scramble guy with a rebound and going to the basket. Defensively, he'll be all over the floor. So I get that, especially from a fit perspective. I had a few ticks lower, but I get it. I do.
Okay. You're up at number 8.
I'm up at number 8, ruining my dreams here. So I'm with New Orleans, and this pick is from the Anthony Davis trade, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yes, that is accurate.
So this is a good team. They were in the playoffs. They pushed the Suns to 6 games, if I'm not mistaken, here as well. So you don't necessarily need the win now step in. I like their core. I like their nucleus. We're going to take a swing here. They need a little bit of shooting. I don't know if this guy's going to be a shooter, but I'm going to go with Shaedon Sharpe from Kentucky. And with Shaedon Sharpe, when you're 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan, and the concept of him, if he hits next to Zion Williamson, next to CJ McCollum, next to Brandon Ingram and Trey Murphy and your sweet baby Herb Jones, who we love so much, that's a really good young team. And I don't feel like if it doesn't hit, it's this colossal miss where I can't believe we used the 8th pick. This guy has top 3 pick type upside. We just haven't seen it. He hasn't played basketball competitively in a 5-on-5 setting in 2 years. So it is a swing into the unknown. But guys like this don't come around every year either. I mean, just the build, the shot creation that he has, the explosion he has in transition. He can be one of those guys from the weak side of a skip pass, attacking a shifting defense. There's a lot of stuff there that plays into what New Orleans already does. And he doesn't come in with the burden of having to be the number 1 guy if you're a top 3 pick, that he has that latent pressure built in either. So Shaedon Sharpe's my guy for number 8 with New Orleans.
So I don't mind this. It wouldn't have been my pick, but I don't mind it. The reason that I say that is this is almost certainly going to be the last time New Orleans picks this high. And
that plays into it, though, right? If you're picking this high, this is like the swing. It might be a whiff, but like this is like the home run for the fences swing if you're going to be this high.
It's a good opportunity for them to really take just a huge fucking cut.
This is it. We're cutting, baby.
Take a swing.
Yeah.
Now, typically the Pelicans like guys that are versatile defensively. You know, they don't really have a problem taking guys who can't shoot, as you know, we've alluded to before. They think that they can make it work. Shoedon isn't really someone that like fits what they have done under this regime previously, but that's not to say that they won't start doing this. I think they could, on some level, like I'm a little bit worried about mixing Shoedon and Brandon Ingram and Zion, like all of whom are somewhat questionable passers in some way. You know, I've been using the Anthony Edwards versus Terrence Ross like spectrum to talk about Shaedon Sharpe, right? Because like I think the line between those guys is a little bit thinner than what people think. Like it's Anthony Edwards' intersection of strength and power mixed with explosiveness that allows him to put crazy pressure on the basket all the time, versus Terrence Ross, who's like a step back artist who can get to a shot and shoot 40% from 3. But I don't know. Like I think I've Shaedon Sharpe at 9. Like
that's
this is not my best.
That's all it is too. We talk about Portland. There's this mammoth hole at the 4. Jeremy Sochan, get it right. There's not a mammoth hole here. This is a good basketball team that the trade they made at the deadline worked. It really did. CJ McCollum was awesome. It benefited both teams really, right? For the picks and the trades balance off. This is the swing. This is the hack. I'm going to hack with Shaedon Sharpe.
Okay, number 9. I'm up. The San Antonio Spurs. I'm taking Dyson Daniels. I just can't imagine a guy who like fits more what this organization looks for. He is tough defensively. He plays exceptionally hard. He's incredibly smart. San Antonio has had, you know, good success with like Australian guys previously, like Patty Mills. Yep. They have Jock Landau on the team right now. They like guys like this that are just low maintenance, but are going to be very, very effective. Is he a star? I don't know. I think he's like an elite potential connector, like role player, you know, connective tissue kind of guy. But you know, is he going to be like a 20-point per game scorer or a 10 assists per game guy? Probably not. But I think he's going to be, you know, one of the best defenders among perimeter players in the NBA at his peak. He's almost 6'8" with a 6'11" wingspan, and he is so on balance all the time, and he makes high level passing reads. I'm just such an enormous fan of everything he brings to the table. I'm a fan of everything he's about. Like he was more than happy to take a step back to Jaden Hardy out there chucking shots. Yeah. And then when he got his opportunities, he took them and just thrived. So yeah, the shooting has to get better. I'm with it. I don't think the shot is broken. I think it's a matter of shot prep more than anything else. I'm a fan. I'm a big big Dyson Daniels believer.
Yeah, it's a fun pick, and I think it's a pretty fun lineup that they could roll out there with him taking off the rim and throwing those laser beam frozen ropes full court to a cutting Keldon Johnson or a cutting Josh Primo, if you will. And it's a great developmental system too, with Popovich and everything they've done to get guys ready for the next level, their level. They won't rush it. If it has to be sometime in the G League, they don't care. Could have used some size too. Maybe they'll do that with one of the later picks in the 20s, but I understand taking Dyson Daniels there as maybe the most talented guy left on the board that fits in a lot of places because of what he does off the ball. It doesn't have to be ball dominant to be effective.
Okay, let's go to number 10.
This has been so great for me. Every pick I've made, I've been happy to do, and this one's going to be fantastic too. So the number 10 pick for the Washington Wizards, number 7 on my board, I am going to go with Johnny Davis from Wisconsin. Now, the numbers... Yeah, one of my guys. I know the numbers may say something otherwise, and love and mock drafts make you do crazy things. But I'm going to lead on the culture, and I'm going to take Johnny Davis. And the reason is he was the backbone of Wisconsin last season. Going back and watching his defensive tape was probably the most fun I had looking back this season. Has him craft off the bounce, scores out of pick and roll. I think the shot from 3 will improve. It's another weapon in Washington's backcourt. They need a guard, probably a point guard more than anything. I don't know if I would reach for a point guard this high. I think Dyson Daniels would definitely be in play if he slid down from 9 to 10. Washington as a franchise sort of in this weird spot because they need a real number 2 next to Brad Beal. So like a star. Johnny's not a star, but he'll help every other place on the court. I believe that they will love him down there. And yeah, he's young. So he's going to keep getting better. And with the usage rate going down, I think the offense will improve as well. And he won't take as low efficiency shots. He won't force as much. He won't press the issue. And I think that added energy will also give him some extra pop down the defensive side of the ball too.
Man, there was no chance I was going to get him to fall to 11, wasn't there?
No way.
Yeah, no.
11's a great fit too. And that's screaming Johnny Davis with Tibbs watching that defensive film eating his Pirates booty. But yeah, I just steal it from you. Sorry.